Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to do your January 2016 tarot reading. My hair looks like I've been electrocuted today. I continue to use the Gilded Tarot deck because I love it so much. I'll be pulling 8 cards for the month, 2 cards for each week, with an additional card as your overall theme and general feeling of the month, as well as advice cards. These are general readings, so they may not apply or resonate the same with everyone who watches them. If they don't resonate for you at all, I suggest you also check your rising and your moon sign as well. For those of you who are interested in a personal reading, you can click on the About button on my channel's homepage, and that will give you a little more detail on myself, the services I offer, and my contact information, which is Maggie, the number one, McGuire at gmail.com. And a special thank you to those of you who have allowed me to do personal readings for you. You've been keeping me very busy during this holiday season, and I appreciate it so much. It's been an honor and a pleasure to meet each and every one of you, and I won't forget any of your stories. Thank you so very much for that. And thank you for those who continue to follow and to watch and to subscribe. I appreciate all your comments and your feedback. It's been a real joy to meet all of you and to hear the feedback that I've gotten on the videos. For the most part, it's been very positive, so thank you very much for that. I am working on resolving the volume issues, although it's been a bit of a challenge, so hopefully it will be better this month and continuing on into the new year. For those of you who are watching these January videos in December, because I am recording and posting them at the end of December, I have been running December specials for personal readings of $25 for a half an hour, $40 for 45 minutes, and $50 for an hour. And those still hold until January 1st. If you'd like to confirm and pay for a reading for the December specials, but actually schedule it in January, that's fine as well. Going into January, my specials will be readings for $1 a minute, beginning at 30 minutes and going all the way up to 90 minutes. And I also have a referral system that for those of you who refer someone to me for a confirmed and booked reading, you will receive 50% off the reading of your choice. So, and how that works is that the person that you would refer to me when they book their reading, they would just use your name as a reference, and then we would go ahead and set up whatever it is that works best for you that you would like. So again, thank you for those of you who actually have already referred people to me, and again, it's been a pleasure and an honor, so thank you so very much for all of you who continue to support you know, what we're all kind of doing here in helping give people some wisdom and some insight on their life paths for the greater good of all. So, and a very happy new year to all of you out there. So let's get going on this reading. This is for Gemini for the month of January 2016. Gemini, sorry, my hair is just insane today. Gemini for the month of January 2016. My lovely twins, what does the first month of this beautiful, beautiful new year hold for you? Gemini. Gemini, January 2016. I hope I didn't just say December. This is for Gemini for the month of January 2016, going into the new year. Okay. For the first week, we have the Emperor accompanied by the Four of Wands. In the second week, we have the Queen of Pentacles, followed by the King of Wands. In the third week, we have the Three of Swords, followed by the Two of Swords. Interesting. And for the fourth week, we have the Temperance card, followed by the King of Swords. And as your overall theme and general feeling and advice of the month, the card from the bottom of the deck is the Wheel of Fortune. Wonderful. In the upright. So let's take a look at this. Well, Gemini, it looks like you began the new year with quite a beautiful combination of cards. We begin with the Emperor, followed by the Four of Wands. And this coupling of cards ensures success and celebration and stability. And I'm getting a real sense of continuity off this card. The Emperor, being a major arcana card, supports all the number fours. Number fours being a number that represents solidity, foundation, security, and Four of Wands being a bit of a celebratory card anyway, although the Four of Wands represents celebrating something. It can be the actual planning of an event or a party, or getting ready to go to some kind of event or party. Perhaps this is something that actually occurred at the end of December for New Year's, with all the festivities. And it shows that while you're very happy and positive about this particular thing, and that you're already celebrating it or looking forward to it, that it's actually going to have some kind of effect or have some kind of unexpected outcome that works out in ways you didn't expect in a very positive way. This speaks of an analogy would be going to a party and feeling good and being excited about going to a party, and then actually meeting someone or having something happen there that ends up having a profound effect on you in a very unexpected way that proves to be very positive. It speaks of celebrating something that turns out to work better for you than you could have imagined. And accompanied by the Emperor card, it just underscores everything. And there's a real feeling of, again, of solidity and foundation and success in this. Success that comes, the feeling I'm getting is after being on a path of tough times and difficulties, or being on a path where you've just been putting a lot into something and really having a lot of challenges along the way. This speaks of finally being in a place where you have something to celebrate, some kind of triumph to celebrate, but it's actually going to pay out or play out in a better way than you actually anticipated, and it's going to bring in a sense of reassurance and security, um, and I'm feeling that that's something that you've really been needing and really been wanting, and that you're entering, either ending the month of December or entering the month of January with this feeling like, yes, I can finally have fun. The sun is shining again. It finally worked out for me. Everything that I've been through, all the difficulties that I've been through on this path, I've finally reached a place where I feel really good about it, and success is ensured, it's guaranteed by the Emperor, who is the king of stability. And again, I'm just getting kind of a sense of security and of comfort. But even deeper than that, Gemini, I'm kind of getting a feeling of finally, finally, after everything I've been through, finally, it looks like happiness is mine. There's something, a very celebratory feeling to this. But again, it's feeling like it's coming at the end of a road of a lot of challenges. So what a wonderful way to begin the new year. Good for you. Now, in the second week, we have the Queen of Pentacles, followed by the King of Wands. Now, this could play out a couple of really different ways for you, Gemini, depending on what Geminis are watching this. Um, the Queen of Pentacles is a woman who is, this could also represent an increased sense of popularity and charisma with you. And this doesn't necessarily have to represent a female just because it's come up as a queen. It can just represent a higher level of feminine energy. The Queen of Pentacles is a very self-assured, very self-confident sort of woman. This is someone who is enjoying the luxuries around her, that she has gained through dint of her own hard work and by virtue of her own talent. This queen is an independent queen. That doesn't mean alone. It just means she's independent, she's self-sufficient, and if she is alone in terms of, being without a mate or a partner, she's quite happy being there. She's enjoying the abundance around her because she has everything that she has worked for. This is an individual who has had very little, if anything, offered to her on a plate. Everything she has is a direct result of the hard work and effort and labor she has put into it. Uh, and it's paired with the King of Wands. Um, The King of Wands is, I always get a very, and Pentacles too, this could be, I mean, you're an air sign, Gemini, but the Queen of Pentacles, Pentacles is the element being that of Earth, and it points to things in your tangible world, and it could also represent having the traits of this individual, which would be, you know, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. There's a very solid, kind of stable feeling around this card because this woman has built up a sense of security and stability for herself, which completely echoes the first coupling of cards of the Emperor and the Four of Wands, which also speaks of double stability and just a very grounded, stable, rooted kind of feeling. And paired with the King of Wands is a very fiery character. I always get kind of an Aries feel off this, and this could represent an actual person in your life, and I actually feel like it is. I'm getting that this is a specific individual in your life, and this could be a fire sign, which would be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or it could just be someone who manifests a lot of the character traits of the fire sign. Although I always get kind of an Aries feeling off this card, so it could be this person you're involved with is an Aries individual, or Leo, or Sagittarius, or just someone who's a very passionate, fiery, creative sort of person, an intuitive sort of person. I always see the King of Wands too. I always get a very restless feeling off of him. I think of all of the four kings. The King of Wands is the most restless. Um, he's got a lot of energy. He can tend to be very spontaneous, a very passionate sort of person. This is a man who, when he sees something he wants, he goes after it. This is somebody who is prone to making a decision and then immediately acting upon it. Um, this is somebody who also could have a bit of a wild side. And in terms of a pairing, this could play out a few different ways for you, Gemini. This could be somebody in your life, a significant person. I'm getting first and foremost an intimate relationship, a love relationship of some kind. And it could be that you are actually supporting this individual, that this man, or if you're a man watching this woman, that you're actually supporting them because of the position that you're in. It feels like this person is. It feels like this person is in some ways opposite to you in personality, particularly if you're both coming from these different elemental arenas. But for some of you, it could play out that as the Queen of Pentacles, that you are actually supporting this King of Wands individual, and this could point to. Although I'm actually getting, you know, with if it was surrounded by different cards, it could be more of a turbulent sort of thing. In terms of the relationship, it feels like as the Queen of Pentacles that you have more of the upper hand in this relationship, that you're the one that actually kind of run things. And it feels like there could be some. It just feels like a very fiery, passionate sort of union. And again, and I'm not sure why, I don't think this is going to resonate for all of you, but there's a very provider feeling to this Queen of Pentacles. So I don't know if this person in your life, this man or this woman that you're involved with, that you are holding the lion's share of providing for your life or providing for your day-to-day life, or this is someone that you're supporting. I'm not getting a negative feel off of it, but I am getting kind of a bit of a turbulent, sort of bouncing back and forth sort of feeling about it. But following the Emperor and the Four of Wands, it looks like that you're ending December or coming into the month of January in a place where you feel very, very grounded, very rooted, very satisfied in a very unexpected sort of way. And for those of you who are not involved or in an established relationship, this would represent somebody who is coming into your life, or somebody that you have. I think for some of you, I feel like it's somebody that you already know, that you've begun dating, but don't quite have an established relationship yet. But that it's somebody who's a very fiery, a very passionate sort of person. Um, The feeling I get, though, Gemini, is that it's going to take some patience and some compromise to remain in a relationship with this individual. I'm getting kind of a feeling of kind of back and forth, and it looks like this is somebody. It feels like this is somebody who's kind of in and out. Who's I don't know. Perhaps he does a lot of traveling for his work, or he's just. I'm just getting kind of a restless sort of feeling off of this card, which I always get off of the King of Wands, and it looks like this is something that may be a challenge to you in this relationship, or it has become a challenge to you in this relationship if you're already in an established relationship with him. Again, I'm not getting, a really horrible, this is a terrible relationship for you to be in, but it seems like the two of you are kind of operating from pretty different personality bases, and that there's going to have to be some negotiation and some compromise. And maybe even a stepping down from what you hoped it would be to something that's more realistic and more authentic to who the two of you actually are, in order for this relationship to have any sort of longevity. However, we then move into the third week of the month, where we have the Three of Swords, followed by the Two of Swords. And I'm kind of getting a feeling that I'm telling two or three very different stories for two or three very different group of Geminis. But one way that this combination of cards could play out. Now, the Three of Swords is not a card I typically like seeing in a reading because it's a card of heartbreak, it's a card of heartache, it can be a card that speaks of betrayal and infidelity. Um, but the underlying feeling of this card is one of a deep sense of emotional pain, of loneliness, and of loss. Um, and it also speaks to having a truth being revealed or something cutting to the heart of a matter. Uh, I actually don't mean that just because there's swords piercing this heart, but having something revealed or finding out some kind of information that leads to having some kind of truth revealed that leads to a sense of betrayal and a sense of loss. The underlying theme is just a sense of emotional pain, and I'm getting kind of a lonely sort of feeling off of this too. Now, this is paired with the Two of Swords, which I look at as one of as a very uncomfortable decision kind of card. It shows a woman who is blindfolded, and there's two swords in front of her crossed, which represent two choices, whether it's either two distinctive, clear choices she has to make. But it speaks of being in a situation where you need to make a decision about something, but you don't know what decision to make. And it speaks of being in a place also for some of you where you don't want to make a decision because you want to keep yourself blind to the truth of the situation. And I think coupled with the Three of Swords, the feeling that I'm getting off of this combination, Gemini, is that there's something about this situation, and as it follows the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Wands, um, there's something about this relationship. Um, it looks like something occurs in the first half of the month in this relationship that originally looked like it was going to be good, or if for those of you in an established relationship or somebody, I'm getting actually a feeling of this is somebody that you're dating, but it's somebody that you know or somebody that you're dating, but you haven't actually known for a long time. Um, for a smaller portion of you, this could be somebody that you are in an established relationship with, and this is actually someone that you support or have a lion's share of supporting, and something occurs in the first half of the month. It looks like you find out something, and the first feeling I'm getting is a sense of betrayal and a sense of infidelity, so there could be somebody else involved in the situation. It speaks of a kind of a more of a triangular sort of feeling to it. Um, and there's a decision that you have to make about it. Am I going to stay? Am I going to keep staying and putting up with this, or am I going to walk a different path, or walk away from this relationship entirely? And it also could be that you're in a relationship with somebody that You're the foundation. You're the one that kind of carries the load of the relationship. You're carrying the load of your day-to-day life, or you're supporting this individual. Perhaps you're the one that's paying all the bills, and you're just at a place where you're just tired. You're tired of going back and forth about it. It's left you in this very depleted and sort of heartbroken kind of space. It's something that's very difficult for you, and you need to make a decision about whether or not you're willing to let it continue. However this plays out for you, Gemini, um, the basic feeling that I'm getting is that you find yourself in this relationship that you thought was something else, um, or you've been in this situation, this relationship with this person. Uh, there's been these certain established dynamics, and you're just in a place where it's hurting you. This relationship is hurting you in some way, whether it's because you're tired of being the one to put more into it than you're getting out, or because you find out something, perhaps a person you find out that there's some infidelity or somebody's cheating on somebody. However it plays out for you, this is a relationship that looks like it ends up causing you pain, and that you find yourself in a situation where a decision needs to be made, but you don't really want to make one. It's easier for the time being to keep yourself blind because you're afraid if you take the blinders off and you see the situation for what it really is, that you're going to be compelled to make a decision, that you're afraid that decision is going to be to walk away. So I'm very sorry to see that for you, Gemini. It feels like an uncomfortable place to be, a place of uncomfortable indecision. Now, in the last week of the month, we have the Temperance card, which is a beautiful Major Arcana card. The Temperance card and the Star card, I think, are my favorite cards in the deck. The Temperance card is a Major Arcana card, and you have one, two, three of them. And it speaks of temperance, it speaks of balance, it speaks of moderation, it speaks of being able to hold opposites with ease. But the deepest and most beautiful meaning of this card is a very strong sense of inner peace. This is somebody who, through trial and error and challenges and difficult times in her life, has reached a point where she has found a sense of inner peace. She has accepted herself for exactly who she is. The decisions that she makes, I say she because it's a woman in the card, but this could just as easily be a man. It's an individual who has found themselves finally in a place where they feel authentic, they feel grounded, and they feel true to who they are. This is a true sense of inner peace, and it's a beautiful card to have. It speaks of balance, it speaks of moderation, and it speaks of being able to hold a variety of opposites and in a very balanced sort of way. And it speaks of walking a path through what may appear to be conflicts on the outside, but having the kind of sense of inner peace that allows you to walk through it without letting it affect you in negative ways. And it's paired with the King of Swords, swords being the suit of truth. Um, Swords being the suit of our thoughts and our ways of thinking and how we look at things, perspective, ways of thinking, thoughts, reasoning, logic. And the King of Swords is someone, the King being an individual who has reached the mastery of their suit. And in this particular case, it would symbolize somebody who has reached a point where they are in control of their own thoughts, in control of their own perspectives and how they look at things. They're a pretty balanced person, and it's a person for whom clarity and truth is very, very important, and for which they will sacrifice a lot in order to see the truth. And I think that following this coupling of the Three of Swords and the Two of Swords, which feels like you're in an uncomfortable sort of place where you're keeping yourself blind. There's a theme of complicity in this, in that you could be the one to remove the blindfold, but for some reason you're not because of heartache that either heartache that you've suffered, or you're afraid that if you take the blindfold off and look at the situation for what it really is, it's going to result in heartache and maybe a feeling that you need to walk away from a situation that in the beginning you thought was so beautiful and so grounded. Um, this combination speaks of, um, of going within to find a sense of inner peace in which to walk a pathway through this. This also speaks of being very tempered and very moderate about how you go about speaking your truth. It could be that if in this relationship, if you make the decision that you need to sit down and have a serious heart to heart, or negotiate or try and to fix or to heal some of the issues that are in this relationship. It feels like the advice of the card would be to come from a place that's very moderate and to be careful and thoughtful about how you express your truth, because the King of Swords is somebody who can be rather blunt sometimes with his words and with the truth as he sees it. Now, the overall theme and general feeling of the month, you got a beautiful card. You got the Wheel of Fortune. And it's a really interesting reading, Gemini, because again, I feel like I'm looking at two completely different stories for two or more completely different groups of Geminis. You begin the month with this sense of solidity and comfort and of being grounded and rooted and stable. And it looks like there's a bit of turbulence in the middle of the month that's stemming from this relationship, this Queen of Pentacles and this King of Wands relationship. And it could be that it's just you're feeling like it's a burden to you, that it's hurting you in some way, and you really need to make a decision. You need to make a decision on it, but you're in a place where in some ways you're keeping yourself blind. You're refusing to look at the situation for the reality of what it is because you're afraid it's going to lead to heartache, or you're afraid that you're going to have to make a decision that you don't want to make. And it looks like at the end of the month, the advice of the cards is to try and keep a sense of inner peace about this, and to be very temperate and moderate and thoughtful about how you go about dealing with this. And if you have a discussion with this individual, that you be very thoughtful and balanced in how you speak your truth as you see it. Um, but but also the very strong message I'm getting is that the truth is going to be very important. Taking a step back and looking at this situation uh, without any fantasy or illusion attached to it is going to be very important. And I think at the end of the day, this fear you have of heartbreak, or this heartache that you're experiencing, um, the truth, even though sometimes it can cut or hurt sometimes in its clarity, it's always the best policy at the end of the day, and it's often what we need in order to move through and beyond something. Because as your overall theme, we have the Wheel of Fortune in the upright, which speaks of things getting better. It speaks of, after a challenging time, the wheel turning in your favor, and in a way that you don't really have control over. I mean, the Wheel of Fortune the wheel is always turning, and for some people, it's always turning on the upswing or the downswing for somebody somewhere. But in this reading, it looks like as your overall theme or advice of the month is that it looks like things are taking an upswing in your favor, or about to take an upswing in your favor, and even that God or Spirit or the Divine or whatever your spiritual structure is pulling things together in a way that looks like it's going to be at the end of the day very very beneficial for you, and very positive. It speaks of good fortune or good luck coming to you in an unexpected sort of way. And that's always a pleasant message to have, Gemini. In spite of, or perhaps because of how you deal with this relationship or this turbulence, in trying to move through and past this heartache, and take the blindfold off and see the truth of this situation or this relationship, or however this is resonating for you different Geminis out there. And it's going to lead you to having, once you move through this decision-making time, it's going to lead you to having a sense of balance and a sense of peace about it. And it's also calling you to be balanced and moderate in how you work through this. And if you have discussions with people or person, or particularly if it's this person you're in a relationship with, to be in control of your thoughts, to be in control of your speech. And again, I'm just getting the message to be very thoughtful and very controlled in how you speak your truth. Stand by it and speak your truth, but just be moderate and temperate and thoughtful in how you go about doing it. Because it looks like the overall theme for the month, Gemini, is that of fortune coming to you, um, and I think that this this thing, this relationship, this situation that's playing out in the middle of the month, that's causing you to feel pain, um, or that's causing some kind of turbulence, is going to resolve itself, not resolve itself, is going to be resolved towards the end of the month. But the advice being that you need to be very moderate in how you move through it. And for some of you, this could also play out in a completely different way. For those of you who are in an established relationship, it could speak of an established relationship that's actually helping you heal through something that's already occurred, some kind of feeling of betrayal or heartache or heartbreak. This person that you're with or this person that's coming into your life is going to be a very significant and profound factor in helping you move through some kind of heartache, move away from some kind of heartache or heartbreak, and help you make a decision that leads you to a place that feels very harmonious and very in peace and just at peace with yourself, and in a place where you feel very good and very authentic and like you found your path, because it looks like that's how the month begins, and it looks like that's the overall theme. So what an interesting reading. Again, I think that it's going to resonate quite differently for um, different groups of Geminis that will be watching this. And if it doesn't resonate for you at all, again, I suggest you check your rising and your moon sign as well. If you feel like this has resonated for you and given you some insight and clarity, and you'd like a further extension on it or a personal reading, please just click on the About button, and that will give you my contact information. And I look forward to seeing how this Wheel of Fortune is spinning for you in the new year, Gemini. And I look forward to talking to you again in February, unless I put out some other different videos in January, which I might if I have the time. So again, thank you very much for watching and listening and subscribing. And as always, I wish you joy, peace, and a happy life. Thank you, Gemini. Bye.